Classic League Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Classic League Podcast, episode 286. My co-host trying to annoy your eardrums is Dustin. Dustin, what was that clicking you were doing?
I was turning my light on and off, doing like a stir pipe.
Gotcha.
But it just looked bad and sounded terrible.
It sounded great. So, Dustin, man, this is we're at week 2. Yes. So it is good to be back. How has the week been treating you, man?
Reboot.
Yes. How's the week been treating you?
Pretty good. I've actually had a really good week. The work's been fine. I've been busy, but it hasn't been terrible.
Okay, great.
Cut my yard for the first time. The weather's been great.
I need to get out there and mow as well. I'd be curious to see the chat looks incredible, or the video display looks super choppy on YouTube, like the stream feed.
Yeah,
but the health says good, so we'll just roll with it. If I need to re-upload this, like, that's just what it is. So yeah, I'm excited. Weather's turning here. I will need to mow my lawn soon as well. So Ohio's not too far behind. It's baseball season. I went and watched the Tigers last Sunday. It was awesome.
Sweet.
They to end the game, center fielder made a diving catch. There were a lot of other great defensive plays, some exciting moments. It was gorgeous weather for April. April in Michigan is real dicey, and it just happened to be a good one. So,
all right.
Also, Dustin, I watched another episode of Castlevania on Netflix.
Sweet.
And I'm in. It's not going to take me too long.
Okay, good.
There was a good cliffhanger that was like, oh, I cannot wait to watch the next episode. So, yeah, man. Well, outside of boring, dad stuff and whatnot, mowing the lawn, all that. Did you get up to anything socially fun? Or did you beat any games?
I played some games. I recorded some footage.
Nice. I guess we'll talk about that in a bit. Oh, you got your green screen.
Oh yeah, I did invest in a green screen. It took like 3 weeks to get here. I hooked it up, and I also had a squirming baby in my lap, so I was kind of messing around with that, and I almost got it perfect.
Awesome. I'm excited to see what you end up doing with that. I think that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to make me feel like I need to step up my game, but I doubt that I'll ever stream on camera, but I won't say never. I really like... sometimes when I'm streaming a game, like I'm sitting here with my shirt off, like totally unpresentable. Yeah, I don't want every time that we're live on YouTube, I have to feel like, okay, look nice, all that kind of stuff. But speaking of looking nice, looks like we both got haircuts this week.
Yeah, we did.
Looking dapper. So yeah, we needed to just get the crud of last episode off. We've knocked all the rust off and we're ready to go. It was a lot of fun, though. It was a good episode. So thanks to everybody that checked us out. And hey, we are over 1,200 subscribers on Podcast Addict.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to all you Podcast Addict listeners. Thanks for sticking around.
Amazing.
I love it.
It's great.
Oh yeah, because you're Android now, so you were probably out there dabbling on different.
Yeah, actually, I just went straight to you. I was like, "What do you use?"
Oh yeah, I'm Podcast Addict.
Went straight for that. Yeah,
it does. I used to use Beyond Pod, but they stopped updating. So now I use Podcast Addict. I think I've got the paid version. It was like $3 or something. Yeah. It was just worth it to. I don't know. Give them. I use it every day, so $3 feels like I'm still stealing, honestly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's a video game podcast. So, right out of the gate, I'd like to let you know this is going to be a very Nintendo-heavy episode, which Dustin and I love Nintendo, so...
Yeah, they bought us out.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
I would totally transform and sell out to be a Nintendo podcast. We could easily do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's the only announcement. I don't have any other announcements to drop. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is I was on NintendoLife.com today, and there are some fans that are doing a remake of Link's Awakening, but in the art style or the engine of A Link to the Past.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks phenomenal. I have never beaten either of those games.
I beat Link to the Past,
and I'm embarrassed about that.
I don't think I've ever played Link's Awakening.
I remember, God, it was before I lived in this house, and I've lived here for like 5 or 6 years now. I was either on an episode with Critical Failure, or he was on something with us, and he said that there was this this key that's like a sequence of keys that you would press when you start A Link to the Past, and if you do it, the title song changes to like a ramba, kind of a Latin sort of a remix song that you can unlock, which I've always remembered and always thought was really cool. So I hope that those kinds of things are in this. It's a lot of Link's Awakening to talk about.
Now that there's a story about it, I'm sure it'll be taken down within the week.
Yeah, man, you're right. I totally forgot to think about that.
It's like, this will not come to fruition.
Well, okay. Luckily, I don't think this will get taken down. Maybe the game ultimately will be. But in the Nintendo Life article, there's a link to a YouTube video of the guy making it with assets and all that kind of stuff. So you can see how the sausage is made, which is really cool. It's wildly complicated to see how game-making software works. It's just...
I don't know. I saw those Game College commercials, and there were a couple of guys making a video game with controllers. So it can't be that hard.
Okay. All right, wait. Making games is easy. I don't know what people are complaining about. Why does
the A button?
Why does it take you 100 hours to get the job done? Yeah, just hit the A button. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of cool. I love passion projects like this, but you make an excellent point, man. Nintendo's going to go,
Mm-hmm.
Well, and especially because I think maybe the next story we should talk about is that Link's Awakening is getting a remake by Nintendo, and it's coming to the Switch.
Yep.
Do you think that this person... I'm assuming that the order of operations or events were that this fan started remaking Link's Awakening way before there was any inkling that Nintendo would be doing something like this. They had to just be like, no.
Well, he has a best friend who works at Nintendo.
He used to have a best friend that worked at Nintendo.
Yeah, right. He told the best friend what he was doing, and he was like,
That's a great idea. I need to pitch something Monday at work. But have you gotten a chance to watch the trailer for the Link's Awakening remake that is coming to Switch?
Yeah, it looks cool. It kind of reminds me of, what was that game? 3D Game Heroes?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look anything. It doesn't look like any previous Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, you're right. And the way that 3D Game Heroes, it still looked like little toys out there, even though they were like more squared pixels. This doesn't have the pixelation, but that's a really good general idea. And the art style looks like little plastic toys.
Mm-hmm.
Or the kind of thing that you would see in stop motion.
Yeah, like almost like Little Big Planet, but with tiny plastic things instead of Sock Boy.
Yeah, there's like a Little Tykes kind of toy brand that it really reminds me of, or
yeah,
almost like the old Gumby style stuff. Or this is kind of a weird reference. Have you ever seen the video called "Burn the Witch" from Radiohead? It came out a few years ago.
I haven't.
It kind of gives me that vibe as far as the aesthetics are concerned. I know, weird. I think this looks amazing. I'm fine. There's no doubt in my mind I'm actually going to play all the way through Link's Awakening finally.
Yeah.
I have it on cartridge. I got it for really cheap, so I've definitely fired it up and I've done the remix thing. I really hope that's in there. That would be cool. What about you? Seeing the art style, saying that it's kind of an isometric. Any chance that you might give it a go?
Maybe if they bring out a physical copy.
There we go. Okay. I forget what game it was, but there was someone that posted on Twitter. I saw that it was a listing at maybe Best Buy or Target, and it said in the listing that there's a code in the case.
Yes.
So be careful, Dustin. I don't know if that was real or not, but
it was the new Wolfenstein game, wasn't it?
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's online only, and it's a code in the box.
I hope you don't rage quit life if you accidentally buy a code like that. And you're like, no.
I'll rage quit at Best Buy. Burn that son of a bitch to the ground.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Got to teach lessons. I don't know. I adored A Link Between Worlds, and this kind of has that sort of an art style. That was the one that was on the 3DS, and that game's absolutely tremendous. It's one of the coolest games I've ever played. So if people out there haven't tried it, just go back. I can't get over how unique the inventory system was, and I talked about it, last week, I think. So I won't get into it too much. Yeah, so that's it for Link's Awakening and whatnot, but we're not done with Zelda, Dustin. What else do we have?
Crypt of the Necrodancer. There's a version of it. It's called Cadence of Hyrule. And this is where they have, like, I was kind of shocked at the enormous balls that this game company had, because it said Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
That's in title.
Featuring one of the most well-known video game franchises.
Yeah, it's like trying to say the Rolling Stones are opening up for my garage band.
Yes. It would be like Classic Elite featuring Giant Bomb.
Yes, yeah, it's just absurd. Baseball's for Beckett.
Right, yeah.
Headlining with the Deftones. So, did you ever play Crypt of the Necrodancer?
I didn't, and now seeing this game, I don't know what that game is. Is it anything like Cadence of Hyrule?
Yeah, it's the same kind of game.
Okay.
It's a rhythm game, but it's a roguelike, and it's a dungeon crawler. So
I think Crypt of the Necrodancer came out around the same time as Undertale, and I get those two mixed up all the time.
I could see that. Especially because they're both highly regarded.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like you played either of them. The Crypt of the Necrodancer, you move up, down, left, or right on rhythm, and there's like a bar at the bottom that you can see the pulse of the rhythm of the song, and you attack enemies almost the way that you did in... Oh, God, what are some of those old NES RPGs? Like maybe Dragon Warrior, where you just run into the person?
Oh, okay, like Ease.
Oh, Ease, okay, yes. So I knew there was something like that. So you run into the enemy on beat, and different enemies have different attack patterns and different areas that they're vulnerable from. It's incredibly difficult, but it's really, really fun. But this is all Zelda. And you play as Zelda, and you play as Link.
Yeah. So it's not just like, we'll let you use the song. The characters are in there.
They went nuts. Yeah, all great enemies from throughout the Zelda series and franchise, which I think looks excellent. And Danny Barwanowski is doing the music, which he did the music for Crypt of the Necrodancer, but... Yeah. I mean, he and Jake Kaufman are the best for this kind of stuff. Well, it's them and everybody else. I mean, there's people like Chip Zell, she's done a lot of really cool stuff, and but I mean, if you have a budget and you can go get a video game composer nowadays, those are your first two calls.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty damn excited to try this. To have a Zelda rhythm game.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, the art style's great. Now, Crypt of the Necrodancer had a really pixely indie vibe, and this does as well. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's a real mashup. I think it's the main character from Crypt of the Necrodancer that is joined by Link and Zelda.
Yes, featuring.
Featuring. That's right. That's okay. Now the title's making sense.
Guest starring.
Right, well, you know, Jay-Z's featured as the rapper on a lot of songs.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's not totally insane. It is weird though. I agree with you on that. Sorry, I had a Space Cadet moment there. Yeah, so Crypt of the Necrodancer, keep an eye out for it. It's going to be cool. Dustin, do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
Did you happen to notice the news that if you're an Amazon Prime member and you link your Twitch account with your Amazon Prime, you get perks. You get games or you get loot boxes for Apex Legends or Warhammer or whatever. I don't know if Warhammer has, or Warframe. I'm sorry, Warframe. There's like skins or whatever that they can give you there. If you connect your Twitch Prime account with your Nintendo account, they give you a year of the Nintendo Online included in your Prime membership. So normally it's $20 a year for Nintendo Online or like the Nintendo Live or whatever. And Twitch is going to give you a year for linking your account. And if you're like me and you paid right out of the gate, like day one, you wanted Nintendo Online, it adds to it. So I'm covered for the next 2 years.
Right. That's awesome.
And I already have Prime, so like, why not? I probably have 100 games in that Twitch client that I've opened one time. But there's some really good games in there. I want to say like Hyperlight Drifter, maybe even Crypt of the Necrodancer. There's some really good stuff that's not just perks for other games. Yeah, I mean, did you do the Nintendo Online?
I didn't.
Well,
I missed that it even happened. I was in the middle of moving stuff.
Well, take 2 minutes and get a year that you've already paid for, basically.
So remind me, do you have to pay for video game? Or do you have to pay for the games after you have Nintendo Online? Is it just like you're paying for the Wii Shop channel, basically?
No. There's you have full access to the store, regardless of whether or not you have Nintendo Online. But if you want to play with other people online, it goes back to like the Xbox Live kind of thing. It's way more like Xbox Live. Think of it that way.
All right.
So if you're a Super Smash Brothers player, you obviously have to have this. But then they have this NES section, so they have all these NES games that are included. Instead of them giving you, Dead Space and Max Payne and stuff like that, now they're unlocking various NES games. There's some good ones in there. There's Ninja Gaiden and Blaster Master, Kid Icarus, Twinbee. There's some turds as well, but I'm sure Urban Champion's in there, right?
Yeah. Yar Kung Fu.
Yeah. But there are some excellent ones in there as well. So Kirby's Adventure is in there.
All right.
Yeah. So there's a decent library, and they bring about 3 games a month. But sometimes they also have like ROM hacked games in there, or like save hacked games that they call SP. So like if you play, like Metroid's in there, so you can play just regular old Metroid. But if you play the SP version, you start and you have inventory. Or if you play the SP Legend of Zelda, they give you some items like out of the gate. There's kind of like an easy mode, which we can talk about easy modes if you want to. There's an easy mode kind of built in that you can take advantage of or whatnot. Link to the Past is another game, or not Link to the Past. Zelda 2, Link's Adventure is in there. So, go get it, man. You have Amazon Prime. Just make your Vogue Nasty account if you don't already have it, and link those together, and then link your Nintendo one, and they give you a year.
Boom.
Plus, they also, with the Twitch Prime, I know I've talked about it before, but it's how I donate to Easy Allies a lot of the time, is you get a free subscription as part of your Twitch Prime. Mm-hmm. Last month I did the Gaming Historian, but I have done Easy Allies the most, probably.
Cool.
So there's all sorts of little perks that if you take the time to take advantage of them, it's really, really cool what they've done there. Now, Nintendo is the online service. The 3 new games this week, or this month, I want to get your opinion on. There's Super Mario, The Lost Levels, like the original one. Yuck. There is Punch-Out, the Mr. Dream one. But the game I really want your opinion on it. Have you ever played Star Soldier?
I don't think so.
I've never even heard of it.
It's a shooter, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think so. I think it's like a top-down shooter.
Okay. It's by Taxan, who did that G.I. Joe game I really like.
Ooh, score.
So I'm very optimistic I'm going to love this game called Star Soldier. I was hoping you were going to be able to channel your inner Jeremy Parrish and just like, yep. And in Japan it was called, and but I know you've heard me complain about Lost Levels. What do you think about not the All-Stars version, but the real just Famicom Mario 2 Lost Levels?
I think it's cool. It's a little piece of kind of funny gaming history, and it's fun. I think it would be fun for someone to test themselves on, or fun for you and a bunch of friends to get together and try and play it and just get pissed and laugh at how hard it is. That's
a great point. That is perfect for that kind of couch co-op where everyone's just chipping in and try to beat the single player mode. Yeah. That's a good point. On stream, not very much fun. Zarek always calls it just a ROM hack, which it kind of is. I mean, they just changed some of the physics and made some really, really tough jumps.
And it looks like one.
And it does. You're right. It does. It does not look as polished. It does look more slapped together.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool stuff. And yeah, I guess we got one more bit of Nintendo news. So this is kind of a big one. Why don't you tell us about this?
So everything is bleeding into everything else.
Yes.
Amazon and bled into Twitch, which is bleeding into Nintendo.
Well, Amazon bought Twitch a while ago. I don't know if you remember that or not.
It just engulfed it, and it didn't bleed into it.
Yeah, it just took it. Well, that means that maybe they'll have like good Mario, the old school Mario cereal at Whole Foods before we know it.
Ooh,
because Amazon bought Whole Foods.
Yeah. So you link your Twitch account to your Whole Foods account, and then the Whole Foods turns into a Pac-Man maze. Yeah. So yes, Xbox Live is spreading out to iOS and Switch, and you're going to get like Xbox achievements for Microsoft-backed products for right now. So it's not like it's not like the SP version of Zelda is going to have achievements, although that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But like Cuphead, that's the way it's going. Like Cuphead's coming to Switch. Yeah, I'm sure that'll have the Xbox achievements. Like Minecraft right now, that'll probably have achievements. Yes, integrated into it because that's a Microsoft thing, isn't it? Yes, they bought it from Mojang somewhere. Yeah. Rumors are swirling around Ori and the Blind Forest coming to Switch and Will of the Wisp, the sequel. I mean, it's obviously perfect. Yes.
And you would get achievements and stuff for that.
I want a physical copy in my hand on Switch. Was it physical on Xbox One?
Maybe not that I know of. I bought it on PC.
Oh, right.
And so I just have it on Steam. As far as I know, I don't remember seeing Ori in a physical copy. I think it was a 1999 game. Those are pretty rare for Microsoft to send out to retail. What?
It was a delayed release. A 1999 game.
I'm still lost.
Like it was made in 1999 and it was only released today.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. I'm like 1999. Oh, yeah. I was like, what am I? So sometimes, Dustin, we are back in the swing of things. You're making jokes that are going right over my head.
Yep.
Same old, same old.
We are good to go. That was a callback to the true fans.
That's right. They're all appreciating it. They're all rolling their eyes, going, "Scott, pay attention." He just said that. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see any fault with it.
Now, the most exciting speculation I've heard is, what about Nintendo Virtual Console on Xbox? What if you can start playing NES and Super Nintendo games on your Xbox? Just bleed. Just open the gates. Let us sell software. I think it's just that Xbox just wants to be everywhere. They just want to be a software company. I mean, Microsoft is a software company. But why not go the other way a little bit, you know?
It's weird.
It is, right? Hey, but Sonic and Mario ended up in the same games.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's just like if the Satellaview was available on the Sega CD or something like.
Yeah, I'm just saying we'll get used to it. It's happened before.
Yeah, Sega Channel. You can play that on your Super Nintendo.
Bring that to the Xbox lab. You want to talk about getting some downloads?
Oh man,
that'd be fun.
Pulse Man.
Did you ever play it for real? The Sega Channel?
No, I only learned about it later.
Yeah,
like, that sounds like magic.
Like 0809. I was like, no way that was available. No way.
Yeah, like how did I not know about it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like I would have been able to play it in Walkertown, North Carolina, and when it was a thing. But
yeah, I wouldn't have either. But like, how was it not in a magazine or something that we saw?
Right.
Yeah, my parents would have been like, "How much a month to play?" No. I take you to the rental store already. That's all you get. Your birthday's coming up in 8 months.
$20 a month.
Yeah. You didn't rake those leaves very well. We told you that we'd remember it. So no games for you. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the achievements thing is interesting, although I never hear anybody care about Xbox achievements at all, but I used to. But I do hear people care about trophies with PlayStation. And I remember when trophies came out being like, oh, that's so dumb. Nobody is going to care about trophies.
Yeah. I care more about trophies than my gamer score, whatever it is.
I think you just answered exactly why. You know what a trophy is. It's you're like gamer score, whatever. It's just
I think my gamer score is like 18,000.
Ooh, you got me. I think I'm right around 10 or maybe just under.
But yeah, I remember like you were saying, maybe 8-10 years ago, I'd be listening to podcasts and people were talking about how they had over 100,000 gamer score. And I was like, that is ridiculous.
That's hardcore. And
they were doing it by playing like Peter Jackson's King Kong and like Avatar: The Last Airbender, so they could get the 1,000 points out of it.
Yeah, there were a lot. There were some sports games that also had, you play an hour and you get all the full achievements and all that. There are some trophies that are that way as well.
Yeah.
Like I only have one platinum trophy for PlayStation, and it's because I finished the first episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's one of three of mine.
It's the only one I have. I wouldn't mind getting some others. I'm not a completionist. I'm a credits guy and sometimes New Game Plus.
I'll be a completionist if I really like a game.
But you're not driven.
Or if I'm just given to it.
Yeah.
Or given it. They give it to me.
Yep.
Because the other ones are Assassin's Creed 2,
Okay.
while I actually somewhat despise that entire series now, the second game was so fun to play. Like, I had to do everything, and I got the platinum trophy. And the other one is Dead Space, which is just right up my alley.
Yeah, yeah. That's even when I tried to mention Dead Space when I was listing off. I hope I said Dead Space earlier. When I was trying to say free games that are included, if I didn't say Dead Space, that's what I was trying to say.
We can add and post.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send you the file, Dustin.
I'll send you a file of me saying Dead Space.
Yeah.
And you can
Thank you.
over your voice.
Yeah. Well, it'd feel normal. We talk over each other enough.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem with Skype or Discord. It's just the lag gets you a little bit every now and again.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, we do pretty good, but every now and again.
We've been doing this for so long, we just don't stop.
Also a good, yep. So, that's going to be it for the news. We said it was going to be Nintendo heavy. Did you want to have a discussion about game difficulty? Or did you get it out on Twitter?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So here's the thing. People have been talking about game difficulty, and I've actually thought about this far too much for who I am and where I am in my life. But I've been thinking about it quite a bit here recently because I keep seeing it on Twitter. And it's one of those, it's like the reverse hearing a song multiple times. Like you hear a song over and over and over, and eventually you start to like it. I kept reading this, and eventually I got pissed off about it. So I started venting on Twitter. And it's the most I've ever tweeted in my life. But so I've gotten to the point where I realize that this is the same argument that everyone is having, but in the context of this video game. Because FromSoft released Sekiro.
I hear Sekiro the most.
Sekiro, okay.
Yeah.
I realized I've never heard it said out loud before. I've only read it. But anyway, they released that, and everybody and their grandmother, who is a games journalist, in air quotes for people who are listening, starts whining about game difficulty again for the 6th time, I think.
I mean, Cuphead was probably the most recent that I can remember. Remember, they caught a bunch of flack.
But at this point, people are so butthurt over it that they have started trying to change the argument, because it used to be these games are too hard, it needs a difficulty rating. Now it's these games are so hard, it needs a difficulty rating, and if you disagree, you're an ableist.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
There are disabled people who can't play this game. You can't beat Bloodborne if you have one hand.
I mean, that is the argument. So then,
yes.
if
because people were trying to hold the logically untenable position that the artist who creates this game just needs to get over themselves and create their art the way that everyone else wants it.
Yeah.
And I pointed that out on Twitter.
Philosophically, that just feels wrong.
Yeah.
If it's too niche or whatever, then they won't make enough money and they will fail, but they'll still have their expression out there or whatnot. Yes. I understand the empathy side of things. And it's frustrating because it feels like if you say, hey, it's just up to the developer and that's just kind of where it is, it's like you see responses on Twitter where people act like, well, there's no way that you can be empathetic as well. There's no way, you obviously don't feel bad for anybody that can't experience this. And it's like, right. that's you're putting words and thoughts in other people's minds, and that's not what they just said. Yeah. Let the art just kind of stand for itself. And if there is complaints or whatnot, then that's fine. But to bring out the pitchforks, I guess, is, and you're right, I saw a lot of it on Twitter too, where I was just really surprised. It started with a Forbes article, which is very strange. And I don't know. It's an impossible argument to, I guess, win because you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I totally agree with you that you can't consider every aspect of every person when you're trying to create something that you want to make.
Yeah, because then you're creating the same thing over and over.
Yeah, eventually it'll turn gray because you've mixed everything together. I like that there's games that I'm intimidated to play. Maybe that's just me being selfish, but I'm turned off by the difficulty of certain games, but I really enjoy that I can maybe watch someone play those kind of games and be impressed at the skill level that someone has to, beat Dark Souls without getting hit. Something insane like that. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's hard to not look like an asshole if you're like, well, it's not everybody can participate. It's it's the same as when you go to Cedar Point, or Disneyland or whatever. Not everybody can ride every ride.
Yeah. And one of my points that I made was, don't change the video game, change the way that we interact with the video game. If someone doesn't have all, both of their appendages, if they can't physically interact with it with the controller that comes with the system, why don't someone just build a controller for them?
Microsoft did.
Yeah.
But the controller input might not be the barrier. I think would be the argument. It doesn't fix like slow reflexes or whatnot because of a disability or an impairment. But there are lots of things that I can't do because I'm not good enough at certain things, and I just have to accept my own limitations as well. And I just have a hard time when video games are picked on because there are so many games available. Like it's not like there's nothing out there for everybody. There is a game out there for everybody. There are lots of games out there for everybody. So I get a little frustrated when one is singled out as though it's some sort of a problematic thing that it exists.
Yeah.
And it does sometimes feel like, I didn't see anybody on Twitter that had a disability complaining about it. It was only people complaining on other people's behalf.
Yes.
And that bothers me. That gets really frustrating.
And this is absolutely a reaction to From Software games. There's only 6 of these games in existence.
Yeah.
There's only 6 Souls games. And nobody cared when Resident Evil 2 came out, and it was kind of hard. Nobody cared when Devil May Cry 5 came out. It's a character action game featuring difficult gameplay that requires fast reflexes. FromSoft made a game. It's hard. People lost. They got butthurt. And now it's they hate disabled people because they're not making games.
Yeah, and that's just an unfair leap in logic. But you got to give them credit, Dustin. We're talking about it. They got you fired up. Like, it does get traffic. It gets eyeballs. It gets you suckered in to this pointless conversation. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah.
So, kudos to them for tricking us. But at the same time, it's a little frustrating when it feels a little dishonest on their part, because it does seem like they just want clicks on their websites and whatnot. So they're going to assume that someone's offended and make up this person in their mind that's offended and then go out and defend them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So, all right.
I did talk to, who was it? It was Jonathan Chapman and Joshua Caleb on Twitter about it.
Yeah.
And it remained cordial. Like, we weren't screaming at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Being, like, impolite or anything. So it was fun. It was fun, like, hashing out those ideas.
Absolutely.
And Kevin retweeted my tirade, so I feel accomplished.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, I guess, yeah. Why not fill the episode with a little bit of a rant? You should follow us on Twitter. Dustin posts good memes, and look out. You'll get an occasional rant, apparently,
I created my first meme. I think it came out pretty good.
Which one was that?
It was the sweaty button guy. It was at the end of the rant.
Oh, okay. I did not see that one.
It was it's 2 buttons and he's trying to figure out which one to push, and he's like
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of the buttons says video games are art, and the other button says all video games should be designed the same way.
Yeah, that's right. I did actually see that. So yeah, that's I guess our stance on an issue that
doesn't
doesn't exist or matter. We need to fill airtime too, so hopefully if you disagree or agree with anything we said, classicleet@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter. So, yeah, that's going to be it for news and all of that kind of stuff. So, Dustin, who are we going to feature this week for the YouTube channel of the week?
Week. Let's go. Okay, so instead of going on social media to argue over nothing, go over to YouTube and watch Mr. GG. He does. So I haven't watched any of them, but he does to catch a predator reviews. I haven't watched one of those episodes, so I don't know what that's about yet.
Okay.
But what he has done, and he has reviewed several horror movies.
Okay.
And a what's his face? Steven Seagal movie. And that is the one that I featured today. It's called Code of Honor. And I love this guy's sense of humor.
Okay.
It's so understated, and he cracks me up. The jokes he makes and how he makes them. And yeah, every one of his reviews I've just cracked up over.
Code of Honor I thought was like a PS2 game.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I had no idea that it was a movie title. Code of Honor, okay. Yeah, I'm going to check this out for sure. Mr. GG. Have you seen Code of Honor or no? Okay. Sometimes
I know I had Steven Seagal in it, and I saw the cover of the movie, and I was like, oh, that's going to be a piece of crap.
There's like some Oliver Harper retrospectives that I've watched when I haven't seen the movie.
Oh yeah, totally.
Dude, his last action hero documentary should be released in a few months. I backed it on Indiegogo. It's expensive. I couldn't help it. I'm like, I want this Blu-ray. It's going to be cool. Man, he's really good.
Documentaries are so cool.
They also have one coming out called like Into the Darkness, and I think, I don't know his level of involvement, but I see the trailers on his channel a lot. But it's a documentary about horror movies. Have you seen any of these trailers? Dude, Oh my God. You got to go to his channel. He has like interviews with unbelievable people that are in all 80s horror movies.
Oh,
like he just recently released a teaser with Elvira.
Oh.
But I mean, it's like, I think even John Carpenter's in it. Like he's substantial actors, and he's done this for the Last Action Hero, like Eric Roberts and lots of like half the cast of Predator, and he's getting like really, really good, like Netflix quality, real feature interviews and documentary. So I would highly recommend it. It's called like something The Darkness. Oliver Harper Darkness on YouTube. Okay. But look for some of the trailers, dude. You'll get giddy. Like,
okay,
it's gonna be cool. Yeah, I love YouTube so much. I watch way too much YouTube. It's the best.
I get a little depressed when I think about how punk rock it used to be. How it used to just be people with shitty digital cameras, like making stuff and being real.
Yeah, a lot of that's still out there.
I just feel like none of it comes to the surface, though.
No, it doesn't. You can look at our views, for example. Although I don't feel like we're very punk rock, but I know what you mean. Yeah, like look at the early Angry Video Game Nerd and how rough that was, but the charm really came through, and I think those videos still hold up and are still really enjoyable because of
him.
Yeah, you can see the rough edges, but you can see. Yeah, it just. So I agree with you that I mean it definitely. Okay, Dustin, we had a technical difficulty once again. So I have changed some settings in OBS to try to stop having a blue screen show up whenever we're recording. I'm wondering if we may need to knock the overclock on my CPU down. I don't think I have it very aggressive. I've never had this before. My temps are only at 60, so should be all right. But we are back. It stinks. I hope that this is not a regular thing. But I guess to
finally get away from Skype and all its problems.
Right, and then it's my local PC. The last thing I need to do right now is to get tempted to build a new rig. So yeah, that's it for the YouTube channel of the week. So, Dustin, you know what that means?
Oh, it's trivia time.
Trivia time. It's trivia time. Trivia time. I should have had the box open, but let's see if you can redeem yourself from last week, okay?
Papu Papu.
Papu Papu was the answer. That was almost the cover art for the thumbnail, but I couldn't find a good enough photo, and I got lazy, so I just looked for the talk boy.
There's always going to be a
talk boy. Oh, Dustin.
Oh, boy.
This is a juicy one. In which video game was the Konami code first used?
Oh. My gut instinct is to say Contra. And I might have to go with that because I don't know that there's anything prior to that. I mean, I'm sure clearly there is, but...
Clearly, are you sure? Maybe it says Contra on this card.
Maybe it does. Yeah, I'm not pulling anything else. I'm going to go final answer Contra.
Wrong.
Oh, what was it?
Gradius.
Gradius, of course.
Of course. You know what my guess was?
What?
Life Force. I would have been closer. Gradius would not have. And we should have known it. Like, it's in Blades of Steel. You know, there's that little... Like, between the second and third period, the little mini Gradius game, or there's like a... Or there's like an ad for Jackal. No, it's Gradius, right?
I think it's Gradius, yeah.
But there is the ship game, but there is another game mentioned, and I think it's Gradius. But anyways, Dustin, you are now 0 for 2.
Man.
That's a good question. I'm now optimistic that we've got some other good ones left. When it was a Crash Bandicoot question right out of the gate, I'm like, we don't have a prayer of getting many of these right.
I never would have come up with that.
But it seems like, of course.
Yeah.
So
after I hear it.
Yep. So, all right, Dustin, what have you been playing, man?
I played a bunch of SNES games.
Nice.
Actually, let me start with Symphony of the Night because the SNES games are juicier. I played some more Symphony of the Night. I did not stream it. I recorded it and uploaded it maybe, I don't know, some time ago.
Okay.
But we're chunking along. We're getting trophies in that. I'm closing in on the platinum.
Nice.
And I'm so happy that game has a platinum trophy.
You wouldn't care. You don't care about the Xbox port that would have achievements.
Did it?
I don't think it did because it was just that Xbox Live release. But if it did, would you have cared? What is it about the trophies? Oh, okay. All right. So much for my hypothesis about trophies now mattering.
Because I don't know if I got 1,000 in a lot of them, but the games I really enjoyed, like I tried to get all of the gamer score points.
Okay. So yeah, you're playing more Symphony. Is your goal for the full playthrough that you're doing? Are you trying to get the platinum on the video series? Or are you just cool?
Yeah, that's my objective, and to play through it just for funsies.
Well, your every nook and cranny stuff did really well.
It did, yeah.
So
I wanted to name it like Quest for the Platinum or something like that, but I already got all the Rondo of Blood achievements off screen.
Oh, okay.
And that ties in. So
you screwed up.
Yeah. I could start a different profile and play the Rondo portion through that profile.
There you go.
But I probably won't.
Yeah, I know you've got other games you want to get on the channel and whatnot, so no worries there.
I could not play Rondo. That game's too good, and it looks so sharp.
Rondo is excellent. A weird menu in that collection.
It is.
It feels very like stock animation. It's very weird. It doesn't have it's not like the Disney Afternoon collection or the Mega Man collections.
Konami was like, listen, man, this Yakuza money isn't going to launder itself. We gotta
Be grateful. Look. We're going to troll you with the Contra collection, too. Broke my heart. Yeah, that's cool. I've never beat Symphony of the Night. That's definitely something that I have to get to at some point in my life.
It's so good.
I've started it a few times. It is good.
I wonder if it has to be that is other people's Earthbound to me is really meh.
I thought Earthbound was okay.
I have no emotional connection with Earthbound.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Symphony of the Night is the same way with other people, although I can't understand that.
Yeah, I have no emotional connection to it other than liking Castlevania. But you've turned me into a Castlevania fan.
Yeah, sweet.
I would not have played nearly as much Castlevania had you and I not became buddies. So eventually I do want to play Symphony of the Night, but I don't have any sort of nostalgia for it at all.
I feel like that is that's the real life void comp test. Like if you don't have an emotional response to Symphony of the Night, you're a replicant.
Okay. Well, then maybe that's what I'll watch tonight going to bed. I'll watch some Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Still cannot get over how much I love that movie. So good. It's so good. My parents
I want that soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, God, yes. Everything about that movie is just excellent. My parents did not like it, but my dad admitted that it was because he couldn't hear it very well. But my parents, so I'm like, well, that's a dialogue-heavy movie. Otherwise you're just looking at pictures.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's the most dad thing I've ever heard.
Right. So now they're all excited because they've figured out subtitles and closed captioning. I'm like, all right,
that's awesome.
So,
oh man.
Yep. So what?
Speaking of Castlevania,
yep.
I got the Rondo of Blood vinyl from Mondo Tees.
You posted that on Twitter a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring it up because it's super awesome. I thought it was going to be Rondo of Blood and Dracula X for the PSP soundtrack.
Okay.
But it's actually Rondo of Blood PC Engine version and the Super Nintendo Dracula X soundtrack.
Oh, wild.
Yeah, so it's super cool because I don't think you can get that soundtrack anywhere.
I've never heard of anybody talk about it. And usually that game's panned.
Yeah. But I was so surprised when I flipped it over to the B-side and it was the Super Nintendo version. I was like, that is awesome. I was so impressed.
Yeah, the Contra one from Mondo, one side's the arcade and one side's the NES. So I'm not surprised to hear that they would have kind of a deep cut with the SNES Dracula X in there.
That's awesome.
So what speaking of SNES, what games you been playing?
Okay, so I watched the Happy Console Gamers top 10 Super Nintendo video. He did his top 10 super games for Super Nintendo. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that video. So I started capturing footage for Super Nintendo games. And so far, I'll go ahead and spoil 5 of them. I won't tell you where they fall, though.
Okay.
I captured footage for Mega Man X.
Okay.
Shadowrun.
Chrono Trigger.
Not
yet. Okay. Hold on,
But that's definitely on the list.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to get it.
Okay, so my 5 I've already captured is going to be, or I already have Mega Man X, Flashback,
Oh, duh.
Shadowrun, Illusion of Gaia,
Okay, I wouldn't have picked that.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
There you go. Yeah, Chrono Trigger, obviously you're going to. I don't know. I never hear you as a big Mario World or Link to the Past guy, so I don't anticipate either of those being on there. I know that out of all the Castlevanias, Castlevania 4 is not one of your favorites. You like it, but is that gonna make it?
Maybe.
See, I don't know. I guess, but I'm asking you, like, do you like Rondo or Castlevania 4, or Symphony of the Night or Castlevania 4, or 3 versus 4? It's not like I'm putting it up against, I don't know, like Simon's Quest or something like that. That's maybe a little less polished, or
Yeah.
some of the Game Boy titles or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to imply that you don't like Castlevania 4. I know Mario Kart's not going to be on there, but a lot of people love Mario Kart. Earthbound won't be. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how you finish out that list. That'll be cool. So, have any of these games that you've been capturing footage, has like time gotten away from you? Like, I've been playing this a little too long.
Mostly with Ghouls and Ghosts, just because I wanted to get deep into the game, so it's not just the first level.
Yeah.
And it takes, excuse me, it took a few deaths to get into the later stages, like midpoint. I didn't get all the way through it.
Cool.
But I played it for like 45 minutes to an hour. Like, I just kept going because I was like, man, this game's so good.
I think one that I would, since I didn't grow up as a Super Nintendo kid, I'm not sure I'd have a lot of confidence in my top 10. I would have like Super Mario World and things like that, or Sunset Riders.
Ooh, Sunset Riders is good.
Contra 3.
I'm gonna get like hours of gameplay, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? This game is actually better.
Yeah, you could. You know what's interesting? Everybody always puts a disclaimer in front of top 10 lists. Like, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
If something's not on here, I rarely see anybody ever make those complaints. Like, it's a disclaimer. It's a lot like on YouTube videos saying like, comment, and subscribe. Like, we know. I mean, obviously, I'm very guilty of doing that. I end the episode of saying, subscribe to our podcast or get it in, whatever. So I understand the necessity of it, but nobody complains about top 10s. Maybe they used to, but no one does them. No one does them anymore. So it's like a treat to see one.
It's going to be a treat for our audience.
That's right. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. Just dusting off the old SNES carts.
Mm-hmm. It looked great through my HD Retrovision.
Say, it's looking good. Yeah, those cables are just something else, man. Mm-hmm. You have a Model 1 Genesis or the Super Nintendo, the old clunker with the eject button?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've got one where like the bottom half grayed and the top half didn't.
Yeah. Mine is covered with old glue because I sticker bombed it when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't want that. So I pulled them all out.
Goo Gone actually might save you.
Yeah.
You ever tried it?
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Oh, then leave it.
Yeah. Like I got most of it, none of it's tacky.
Mm-hmm.
Like the glue that stuck was like, I bought some like apparently industrial strength stickers and put them on there. And it is just like hard. It feels like hard plastic. That's how.
Dude, I did. Let's see if this is going to be too much of a pain. I think I might be able to pull this off. Because I'm with you. Like, it's fun to have your old consoles and whatnot like this. My AVS I put a Bartman sticker on it.
Yes, that's
just because it was like I would have loved this. Is exactly what I would have done when I was 9 years old with my AVS system. So I'm with you on that. Now this isn't. This will come right off, but it's still fun. Cool, man.
I think when I did it, I was watching Hackers, and it was the scene where Zero Cool like sprays his keyboard camouflage. And I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, dude.
But I don't have a stencil or any spray paint.
I got stickers.
Yeah, I got some stickers. They're going on my Super Nintendo.
I still my Chromebook's covered in stickers on the one side of it. I'm glad I never did it to my guitars though. Stayed stickerless on the guitars. Yeah. But they do look kind of rad. I've seen like old guitars that have the same kind of aesthetic you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something awesome on Twitter.
Okay.
Where someone said that when you sticker bomb a laptop and you have to turn that laptop in, or you trade up or upgrade, you snap a picture of all of the stickers on the back of your laptop and you make that a sticker and you put it on the new laptop.
I like that. Hack the planet, right? Keep things the same. That's cool. I've seen people do that with green screens. Like Day 9 will put his old apartment behind him as the backdrop.
I thought about doing that with the green screen I have.
Yeah, it'd be very funny. Go ahead and do that. Or you can broadcast from the Oak Hollow Mall. Just
yes.
Just be fun.
That would be great.
So good deal. Well, I have not been playing a lot. I did get to level gold in Rocket League, Dustin. So I'm
cool.
I am moving up the divisions. I don't know how far away I am, but I feel like if I get like 2 or 3 wins in a row from where I'm at now, I'd get to platinum.
Sweet.
Starting to get pretty decent at Rocket League. I still get really mad, so I have to keep it at bay sometimes. It gets under my skin sometimes how bad my partners are. And also I started playing some Cuphead.
Yes.
I don't know how I beat it.
Did it look like the footage of that one journalist that couldn't jump over the thing?
I'm not that bad, but it feels that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that my save file is still there. So I can show, yes, I hit 105% on that save file. Because I did get good, and I lost it, man.
It's crazy how fast you can lose it.
I was really good at Cuphead. I'm no longer really good at Cuphead.
I need to play that, man. Isn't that coming to the Switch, physical copy?
I don't know about the physical copy. I think that it is, but it's definitely coming to the Switch. Yeah, because remember,
it's definitely getting a physical somewhere. I think it was for the Switch.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that would be a perfect time for you to get it. You want to talk about a vinyl that I want? Oh my god, I want the Cuphead soundtrack on vinyl so bad. Yeah. It's $100, but it's 4 vinyls. It's gorgeous. It just looks amazing. Oh, I got a new vinyl in the mail today. I got Depeche Mode's Violator.
Hey,
it's a really good album. It's got like, I think my favorite song is probably the Policy of Truth, but it has like Personal Jesus and all that kind of stuff on it. Yeah, my brother got me into Depeche Mode. He read an article where Trent Reznor's like, I really was inspired by Depeche Mode. So my brother's like, dude,
sweet.
Listen to Depeche Mode. You can absolutely hear the Nine Inch Nails. That Nine Inch Nails was influenced by them heavily.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like the synths, like the way that the synths, they're like not as like crunchy. Like it doesn't sound like they've been through the master boot record filter.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that. He did a Contra cover a couple months ago that was A+. Everything he touches is amazing.
Yeah, he released an album recently.
Yeah, I get press stuff, or like I'm on one of his mailing lists, and he's releasing stuff all the time. I didn't realize it was like a full album.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I did. It was called like Juarez or something like that. like WAREZ or something. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Master Boot Record or Master Boot Record. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it for games this week. Dustin, since we did not have... I had a horrible schedule. I just got the podcast released yesterday, so there's no time for anybody to write any emails. But we did get a couple of comments. We got one from Zarek and one from Demez. Or a couple from Zarek, I'm sorry. And one from Demez. Oh, dude. Public service announcement. The Angry Video Game Nerd just released the Aladdin Deck Enhancer Angry Video Game Nerd episode an hour ago.
Sweet.
So make sure to go check that out. Yeah, do you have the comments up by chance?
I do.
Start reading whichever ones you want. I'll get the rest of them up.
Zurich says, R.I.P. Peppermint Patty. Long live the Classic Leap podcast. Zurich asked if the edit tools work for you.
No.
And then we've already covered that.
They did not.
Yeah. And, okay, he says, I meant to go back and watch this, but he says this would be Dustin's prize Halloween decoration, and he gives a timestamp. I don't remember what he's talking about.
At first, I thought it was 8. Okay, let me see here. I'm opening it now.
Bloodstains, April Fools?
Oh, the Bloodstained April Fools. Having the... Yeah.
Yes.
That's a thumbs up and a heart, Zarek. Because originally the timestamp was 8 minutes and 14 seconds, and it was just the middle of a conversation. I'm like, what? Yeah. Iga's blood in a bag.
Yeah. Oh, my. I would love it.
And then Dumez says, my first game of Tetris 99, I got 10th place. I consider that a win enough. No need to be first for me. Yeah, you know what? That's almost healthier because once I did really well the first time. I want to say I got maybe 12th. And I was thinking like, oh, dude, I got this. Then it was a lot of grinding. I was listening to the Giant Bombcast and they were talking about Tetris 99. And Brad said he saw like a article on tips on how to play it. And they're like, play when the Japanese are in bed. It was a legitimate tip. I was like, oh. I just like, I doubt I could win now. Because everyone was playing when I got to. So I got a good draw. And I just had to execute against other average players like me. Yeah. But now it's like, good luck. It's still really fun though. Like even if you don't have any interest in trying to win, it's really really fun. It's excellent. I love it. So,
man, I don't remember the last time I played Tetris.
Well, when you sync your Twitch account tonight to your Nintendo, you'll be able to play it and see how wonderful it is. Tetris is nearly a perfect video game. It's so good. I love it.
That Alexei Pajitnov, he knew what he was doing.
He did, man. He absolutely knew what he was doing. Another mention of the gaming history and his hour-long documentary on Tetris is excellent. It's really, really good. I've watched it at least twice. Yeah, Alexei Pajitnov. It's weird. It's definitely the most famous Russian to me, even over Gorbachev and Putin. I swear to God, like, which is probably healthier for me because he's such a nice...
Yeah.
Like, likable guy where, I don't know, politics suck. So, I think that's going to be it for the show, Dustin. So, thanks to Zarek and Dustin, or Dumez for, I was looking at your name, for writing in. Appreciate everybody that hung out with us last week. We've had a couple of lurkers tonight, so I appreciate you hanging out and watching. Thanks, sorry we had the technical issue once again, but it will eventually, it'll get corrected. So now that we've been streaming again, yeah, still at 60 on my CPU temp. So nothing concerning there. I don't know. We'll just see what it's like next week, right? Eventually, it'll continue to work. So yeah, just want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song "Through the Forest" as our intro music, and shout out to Cubby. We use his song "Tidal Force" as our outro. Our RSS feed is available at classicelite.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. No, but seriously, like if you do want to leave a rating somewhere, that would be great. Dustin, we're up to 18 5-star reviews on iTunes, so that's very exciting. So thank you to everybody out there that has taken the time to do that. On social media, our handle is just at Classic Leet. That's Classic L337. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Voice cracked a little bit there. SoundCloud. And we have Amazon affiliate links if you want to support the show financially down in the description. So, that's going to be it for the show. I want to thank everybody very much for listening to episode 286 of the Classic Leet Podcast. And we'll see you next week for episode 287.
Boosh.